Going beyond the headlines now with special assignment Submerged. With electric boat and a Navy base, the Groton, New London area is referred to as the submarine capital of the world.
It's home to many subs, including the USS Toledo. Fox 61 was invited on board to set sail with the nuclear-powered sub, and our John Charlton volunteered for the ride. He joins us now to share the experience.
Well, Brent and Susan, I can tell you it was an amazing experience lasting just 2 days, which gave me a great appreciation for what these guys do months on end. Our first mission when we got on board was to tour the boat, and you'll see why no space is wasted on a Navy submarine. Los Angeles class, fast attack, nuclear powered, stealthy, and lethal. The Connecticut-based USS Toledo docked at Port Canaveral, Florida. More than $2 billion in American might.
What I wanted to do is start your tour topside here.
It was Commander Douglas Redcamp's first media overnight ride.
And that's what we generally use to control the angle of the ship. That gives us the ability to launch Tomahawk land attack cruise missiles.
As well as ours.
All right, here we go, Nick.
The second we got on board, we saw why this is no place for the claustrophobic.
The ship is underway.
First order of business, a boundaries briefing.
Everybody who's not a member of the crew is not allowed in the engine room.
That left the forward half of the ship and its 3 levels to explore.
I don't think I'm coming out of this. No, you won't come out of it. I promise you that.
First, my photographer and I were about to go outside, but had to get approval.
I'm John Charlton. I request permission to go to the bridge.
From the chief of the watch.
Bridge control request permission for Mr. Charlton and Mr. Dethlefsen to come to the bridge.
After a steep climb to the top, we made it topside to the sub's peak.
Holy mackerel. Let me just,
You can take a break.
yeah.
Enjoy it.
Can those take weight?
A pair of shaky rails between us and an intimidating drop to the unforgiving sea. We join the 2 men on watch who look out for other vessels and sometimes see creatures of the sea.
Sea turtles, saw flying fish earlier today. Occasionally we get dolphins off the bow. Oh, right off the front, they'll just pop right off the top. It's pretty cool to watch.
It's straight down.
Heading back inside,
Right there.
the upper level houses the brains of the ship.
Coordinator, sonar, hold and regain at Sierra 3 bearing 068.
The control room coordinates movement,
Dive, dive.
Heading forward.
dictates action,
That's the command launch console.
and reacts to sound.
For obvious reasons, a submarine doesn't have windows, but the closest thing to seeing the outside world is the sonar room.
So what these guys hear,
a merchant or another type of surface vessel,
ironically, helps the subsea.
so the ship relies on us to ensure that we can avoid contacts and safely navigate through the water.
Ship, we proceed to 250 feet at the 20 degree angle.
Within earshot of all the action
550.
is the captain's quarters.
I can sit here in my stateroom and know pretty much everything that's going on the ship and what our sensors show. And this is a especially useful display while we're on the surface, that I can see navigational information, the radar for contacts, the visual out the scope.
Come down here to middle level.
The middle level is basically the living level, or the stomach of the ship.
The wardroom set up for dinner for the officers. This is where the officers eat. This is the officers' mess.
The dinner table doubles as an operating table.
There's lights and stuff we hook up here just like an operator.
Around the corner from officer country is where the crew eats.
We're having chicken parmesan and baked fish, some home-style potatoes.
Come this way, let's go look at some weapons.
The lower level is the business end of the ship.
On this side, you can see where the real action takes place here in the torpedo room.
The torpedo room can fire as many as 36 missiles, torpedoes.
This is as smooth as a bell right here.
And tomahawks. The 4 horizontal launch tubes can be reloaded.
And the end of that torpedo tube and touch that door, you'd be the closest to sea pressure you'll ever get on the submarine.
The Toledo's 12 vertical launch tubes are one-shot deals for cruise missiles, at least until the sub gets back into port.
We run the atmosphere control equipment.
Finally, the machine room is the sub's lungs, where oxygen is actually made from water by shocking it with 10,000 amps.
It'll separate the hydrogen and the oxygen there, and we discharge the hydrogen overboard and send oxygen to two oxygen storage banks we have, one forward, one aft.
Command battle stations strike.
At least we could all breathe a lot easier knowing our undersea adventure was just about to get underway.
So deck maneuver answers, all head 2/3.
And Brent and Susan, I can tell you that these guys on board the USS Toledo were extremely accommodating with everything we want to do. Quite an amazing crew.
So every cubic inch counts. You know, I'm wondering about what they do about exercise, because there's not room for a squash court.
No.
What do they do for exercise?
Well, you're going to see in the 11, our second part, because this is a 4-part series, but in the 11, so stick around for that, life of a submariner, basically what they do to stay fit, how they eat, where they shower, where they go to the bathroom,
and
all
how
that
they
stuff.
handle psychologically being submerged for, what did you say, 3 to 4 months at a time?
3 to 4 months straight at a time. So no communication with family. You know, on surface ships, you can email your family, all that kind of stuff. What they have to do is basically email, save it, and when the periscope goes up for communication, it all gets shot out. So it's like, you know, folks at home got to wait several days to get a, you know, a typewritten an email from their
You better hope
loved
you
ones.
like your crewmates, right?
That's right. That's right. You have to. It's one big family on board.
Looking forward to your next report.
All right. Thanks.
Thanks, John. What an assignment. We'll be right back.